All right, we're going to go way beyond the hype of generative AI. In just the next few minutes, we're going to break down the engine that actually powers this stuff, and I'll give you a super practical framework to start using it strategically. So let's get right into it. So, when you hear generative AI, what's the first thing that pops into your head? I'm guessing it's chatbots. And yeah, that's a huge part of the story, but honestly, it's just the very tip of the iceberg. The real power of this tech lies so much further beyond a simple conversation. At its absolute core, generative AI is, well, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's AI that generates things. It's a creator. It doesn't just find and process information that's already out there. It actually creates entirely new, totally original content. And we're talking about everything from text and really complex code to stunning images and brand new ideas. Think of it less like a search engine and more like your creative partner. To really wrap your head around how that's even possible, we need to kind of pop the hood and take a look inside. So let's explore the engine that's powering this creative force, starting with the one core component that makes it all happen. Okay, so the power behind all of generative AI comes from something we call foundation models. The best way to think about these is as incredibly powerful all-purpose engines. I mean, they've been trained on a truly colossal amount of diverse data, basically a huge chunk of the internet, which gives them this incredibly broad and deep understanding of language, concepts, and patterns. So what makes these models so revolutionary? It's really their adaptability. Because they're trained on such a wild variety of data, they're not one-trick ponies. Not at all. They're flexible enough for a huge range of tasks. And this is the crucial part. You can fine-tune them with your own specialized data. You can turn them into experts on literally anything, from legal contracts to marketing analytics. Okay, so if the foundation model is the engine, how do you steer it? That's where prompting comes in. Prompting is simply how we talk to the AI. It's really an art and a science of giving clear, specific instructions to guide the model to get the exact output you want. You know, a good prompt is like a good map. It gets you exactly where you want to go. So now that we've got the core concepts down, let's see how they all come together in a real-world toolkit. We'll use Google's ecosystem here as a great practical example to see how a model and a platform really work hand in hand. Every practical AI setup has two key pieces. First, you've got the model itself. That's the powerful brain. In this case, that's Gemini. But then you have the platform. This is the workshop. And here, that's Vertex AI. The platform is what gives you all the tools you need to take a model like Gemini, customize it, and then build it into a real, functioning business application. Having the tools is one thing, but knowing how to use them, that's everything. This isn't just another tech project. It's a full-on business strategy. So let's walk through a clear game plan for making generative AI a huge success in your organization. This 6-step framework is your playbook. Step 1, strategic focus. Solve a real business problem. Don't just chase the shiny new tech. Next, you have to create a culture of exploration, letting your teams experiment and play around in low-risk sandboxes. Then, and this is so important, establish responsible AI principles from day one, with crystal clear security and ethical guidelines. You also have to commit the resources, the right data, the right tools, and the right people. Once it's up and running, measure the impact, not in buzz, but in actual business value. And finally, you have to treat this as a cycle of constant improvement, always listening to feedback and refining your approach. And you know, following that strategy isn't just some paper exercise. It leads to tangible, real-world value. So what can generative AI actually do for you once it's up and running? The real-world impact really boils down to 4 key capabilities. First, it can summarize. It can turn dense, long reports into key takeaways in just seconds. It can create, generating new marketing copy, product designs, or lines of code, completely from scratch. It can help you discover insights that were hidden deep inside your data. And it can automate all those tedious manual tasks, freeing up your team for the work that truly matters. Each one of these is a direct solution to a really common business challenge. You know, the secret to making this all work is combining 2 approaches. You absolutely need that top-down vision from leadership, but that has to be met with a bottom-up approach from the employees who are on the front lines. They're the ones who can spot the best practical applications and give you feedback on what's actually working. And that combination, that's what creates real momentum. So we've looked inside the engine, we've seen the tools, and we've walked through the strategic playbook. You now have the complete framework for moving way beyond the simple chatbot. So the only question left is, what are you going to create first?